Okay, let's see. For you to lose weight, you need to be in a calorie deficit. And what that means simply is that you'll be consuming less calories than what your body needs to function. And so, what does your body need to function? That is a question. So, we're going to talk about this today. Hello, and welcome to another session with Wellness with IJ. I hope you're all doing well and keeping healthy. I've already made a reel. Is it a reel or a short about this? And I'm hoping that just talking about it briefly is going to help clarify a couple of things. So this session, we're going to talk about how much energy does your body need to work so that you can be in deficit of that. I think when you watch the video, you will see that it's all very self-explanatory, but we'll talk about it a little bit more. I know that you have all heard people say, oh, I have cut down on the amount of food that I eat. I exercise a lot more than normal and whatnot, but I am still not losing weight. That is one of the reasons why sometimes our journeys fail, is because of the fact that we simply do not know how many calories we're required to consume. So that's what this is about, your total daily energy expenditure. This figure, like I will be saying in the video, is very unique to all. So for me, it's going to be different because I'm female, I am my age, and I am a certain weight and a certain height, and I exercise to a certain level. And so my number will be different from your number. And that's the reason why you have to know what your individual expenditure is, so that you can work out what your deficit is going to be. I know that a lot of people are going to tell you that this doesn't matter. Well, trust me, it does matter. And sometimes it just sounds really labor intensive to count calories. I think that's what most people try to avoid, is the fact that you have to do that. And I totally understand it can be quite time consuming and frustrating sometimes to work out the calorie content of foods, but unfortunately you have to do that, at least until you get used to what foods translate to. You will soon figure out that to get a cup of rice, it might be like a spoonful or a serving spoonful, or however many spoonfuls of rice. That would be the same as a cup. So until you get used to what that means, unfortunately you have to count calories. And I think it's great, because after a while you'll begin to be able to predict by just looking or visualizing an item to know whether this is going to do some damage or whether it's safe to consume. So that's the whole point of this. I think it's important for you to know what your TDEE is, so you can work out what's convenient for you and what's comfortable for you. Remember, this isn't a temporary thing. We're not going to do this now and then we stop doing it, or we think it's a kind of a diet. When you go on a diet, it's for a short period of time and then you stop. This is going to be permanent. So I implore you once again, when you make the changes you want to make, please make sure that it's something you can continue to do. There's no point putting yourself in a difficult situation or setting yourself to fail by putting things in place that are just not feasible. So that's what that video is going to briefly explain to you, and I'm going to attach it right now. You can hear me. So this is the video where I am going to try to explain to you how to figure out what your total daily expenditure is and how to become deficit to that figure. This is the TDEE calculator, the total daily energy expenditure calculator. I'm using the version on Forbes.com just because Forbes is a well-known media company. This calculator, remember that I did mention that the value, or your daily value, is unique to you. So there isn't any generic figure that you can say, this is the number of calories I need to eat in order to lose weight or to maintain my weight. It's very specific to you as an individual. And that is the reason why you have to make sure that you have the correct figure. Here we are. This is a TDEE calculator. And as I said, It depends on your gender, your age, your weight, your height, and your degree or level of activity. I'm going to use this lady as an example. So this is a 30-year-old female who weighs 180 pounds. She's 5 feet tall and she lightly exercises. And when you calculate what her daily expenditure is, you will find that her daily expenditure is 2004 calories. What this means is that if she consumes this number of calories in a day, her weight stays the same. And for her to lose weight, she has to be in deficit to this number. So if she wants to lose weight, let's say she cuts the number of calories that she has in a day so that she's eating 1500 calories. That means that she's going to be 500 calories in deficit to this figure. If she does this every single day for 7 days, she will lose a pound just by being 500 calories in deficit. Now, watch how this changes, which is the reason why you have to make sure that the number that you have is peculiar to you. So let's say this is a male. Remember, men burn more calories than women. So I'm going to choose a man. Everything stays the same, the age, height, weight, and the degree of exercise. So if you calculate that, you're going to find that they're needing more calories to function on a day. So this man now has to consume 2200 calories to maintain his weight. And that also means that if he reduces or if he begins to consume 1500 calories a day instead of this amount, he's going to be 700 calories in deficit. If he does that for a week, he's going to have lost 1.5 pounds. Let's go back and go back to the individual being a female, and we change the age so that the person is younger. Now, younger people burn more calories, and you will see that. So this lady is now 25 years old. Everything else has remained the same. And if you recalculate, you will find that, again, she's burning a little bit more. The other one, I believe, was 2004. So she's now burning 2038 every single day. And if we go back and change the age back to what it was, which was 30 years old, and we change the weight so that she's 200 pounds. Now, this puts her in the obese range. And the heavier you are, the more calories you burn. And we're going to see that when we recalculate. So recalculating that will give us this number. So now you see she's burning 2,129 calories instead of 2004. Same thing applies if you go back to 180 and then you say that she is 5 feet 5 inches tall. And if you recalculate, you will see that she's going to be burning more calories because she's taller. Now she's burning 2,113 calories. So that shows you that each of these factors will affect the number of calories that you burn in a day. Similarly, if you look at the degree of exercise, so the original person was exercising lightly. So let's say we go from lightly exercising to a sedentary lifestyle where they don't do anything. And if we calculate that, I'm sorry, I think the height was 5 foot. 5 feet tall. Yes. Okay, so that person who was using 2004 calories here, you now see that the person is going to need to consume less to avoid putting on weight. In addition, if they increase the level of exercise from lightly active to moderately active, which I think we should all be doing at the very minimum, and we recalculate, the same person is now needing to consume 2,259 calories in order to function on a daily basis. And this gives you a little bit more leeway. So if you're doing 1,500 calories in a day, now you're seeing that your deficit is 700. And so the more active you become, the more the amount of calories you're consuming is going to put you in deficit, and the more weight you're going to lose. So what does this mean? This means that in order to increase that deficit, or in order to have a more effective deficit, you have two options. Either you increase your level of activity, as you can see here, or you decrease the amount of food that you're consuming so that the deficit will be substantial. Like I said, I'm using the Forbes because everybody knows about Forbes. Any of the calculators that you find online, they work exactly the same. So please you don't have to use Forbes. And some of them will even go as far as telling you how much to consume in order to lose a certain amount of weight in a certain amount of time. So this is how you calculate the TDEE. Now, I know so many people are going to tell you that you don't need to count calories, that you don't need to pay attention to this. Trust me, any program or any journey you go on that's going to result in a weight loss will involve some degree of being in a calorie deficit. Thank you for watching.